crying little.
Yoga.
I wanted to speak about this hot topic that's going on in this nation, the United States, which is abortion. Now, you have Georgia that has a heartbeat law that says that abortion will be illegal if they can detect a heartbeat, and also in Alabama, if you are 6 weeks along, even less, abortion can be illegal. And it has sparked controversy and conversations about this. You have your pro-life, pro-choice. You have women saying it's their body and they have the right to make the decisions. It's true. And you have other people saying, they want to protect life and protect women, which is also true. And both of these groups are pushing against each other as if one is wrong and one is right. But with this topic of abortion coming up, I am a Bible believer. I believe life is precious. I believe that everyone has the right to life. So I guess that would put me in a pro-life category, if that's what people want to put me in, whatever. But I do believe that women have a choice. And in my thought process, as a woman who has had sex, it was a choice for me to either get pregnant and have a child or not get pregnant and have a child. And I can say to this day, I have no children. I have never given birth and given a child up for adoption. I've never been pregnant. I've never gotten an abortion. And my only form of birth control was condoms. I kept them on me, regardless of if the man had them or not. I always kept them on me, and I've never gotten pregnant. So that's the choice that I believe women have. But it seems to me that a lot of women, if they are out here having sex and they're ovulating and they happen to get pregnant, they want the option to, I got to take a look at my finances. I got to take a look at my life. Is this going to interrupt my life? And then make a decision where they want to get rid of a life or not. Which you should understand that already. And you should be making the preparations before you even become sexually active or before you go into that sexual encounter to know if you want children or not, and then take the proper steps to avoid the situation, if that's what you're going to be doing out having fun. Because it's very schizophrenic of this nation, because they say, oh, go out, have fun, explore, get experience, nobody has the right to tell you what to do. You can do what you want to do. And then on the other side, they're calling you sluts and hoes and thoughts. Very schizophrenic. But this issue to me, is very complex, because you have women who are genuinely afraid of getting pregnant, and because in this day and age, people are not getting married, people are shacking up, people are playing house, men are leaving women with babies, and I'm talking about across all races. Women are being left single mothers. Some of these men don't take care of their children. Some of these men make an effort not to take care of their children. But then even if they do, it still puts a burden on the woman to have to raise these children alone when she did not make them alone. And there is this disconnect in this society about, how to properly build a family, bring children into that foundation, and also sticking within a marriage to properly raise children. What it seems like to me is a lot of people are out here having unprotected sex. And putting pregnancy aside, if you are out here having unprotected sex, you are opening yourself up to STDs and AIDS and HIV and hepatitis, especially with the drug use. You know, sometimes people hook up because this person may look good, or they've been drinking and they're making bad decisions. People are out here doing drugs and high, and they don't know who they're hooking up with. This person could be sharing needles. Like I said, there's HIV, there's AIDS, hepatitis, you know, all these things that are out there that you can get. You know, we have a heroin epidemic. You don't know who is on these drugs. They could be a functioning addict. You don't know who has AIDS or HIV. But you're out here hooking up, and you're hooking up unprotected. You won't even take the little bit of time it takes to get ready and put on your nice dress and heels and do your makeup, do your hair. You can take time to do all this, make sure you smell good and everything, but you don't have 2 seconds to walk into a Walmart, which is on every corner, or walk into any drugstore and go get, you know, a box of condoms. But you're out here being raw dogged. And you're bringing children into a situation where they will end up in poverty, because without the other person there to take care of the family, it's going to be 10 times harder. It is 10 times harder to do it by yourself. This is the one reason why I don't have kids, because I'm not going to be a single mother. I don't owe anyone a lineage. I don't owe anyone my womb. I don't owe my community a child. I just don't see it that way, because there's a lot of men out here that are not loyal. And like I said, the only person that I would owe that to is a man who is loyal, or a man who is my husband. That's about it. But it's like I said, this falls on the women. This abortion issue falls on the women. A lot of people are trying to put rape and incest in front, as if that's the main thing that women get abortions for. It's not. Usually women go get abortion because they hooked up with someone and they ended up pregnant because they didn't use protection. They are having unprotected sex as far as maybe they missed their birth control and they don't want another child, and they may have a child or two and they don't want that third child, so they'll go get an abortion. But usually it's because of an unwanted pregnancy that was produced by having unprotected sex. That's what people have abortions for. And I know of several women who have had multiple abortions, and that is so unacceptable. It is so unacceptable to be out here and be reckless with sex, and to be reckless with your body, and to just be out here having this sex. The least that you could do, the very least that you could do, is track your ovulation. Just track when you're ovulating and not produce a child. And the easiest thing, like I did, was to have condoms on you when you are about to have a sexual encounter. Because within our community, like the Black community, this is a situation that is out of control, and why we're in poverty, because we're having children with men who do not deserve to have a progeny. Even within the animal kingdom, females are selective in who they will have children for. They usually want the one who is showing that they have, the better genetics and everything that's needed to have a strong lineage. And especially in our community, we don't do that. I mean, it's almost like, someone pays you a compliment and you're ready to pop out a baby for them. That's not good. I think Black women need to get a little bit more self-esteem and be extremely, extremely selective in the men that they will be with, and these men need to be bringing something to the table. If you are hypersexual or you feel like you have to have a sexual encounter, I mean, you could get familiar with yourself. There are many sex shops. You don't even have to walk in. You can order something off the internet. There's sex toys. There's all different kinds of way to have an orgasm if that's what you need every night. But there has to be something done about all the abortions that are happening because they are unnecessary. There is no reason why there are so many people who are being killed in an abortion clinic, when if people would just be responsible with their reproductive health, there would be no need. There would be absolutely no need for Planned Parenthood. And it looks to me like people, and this is across every race, people want to be reckless and they want to do what they want to do when they want to do it, and they don't want to deal with any consequences of their actions. You wouldn't have to worry about child support. You wouldn't have to worry about feeling like a woman is trying to, stop you from seeing your children. You wouldn't have to worry about a lot of this stuff if you would just have a condom in your back pocket. If you can go out there and you can find the weed man, you can find the condom aisle. Women, if you want to be out there and you want to quote unquote have fun, you can get a diaphragm, you can use condoms, you can get the shot, you can get the pill, you can get all different kinds of birth control. But it almost seems like it's a joke and it's fun and it's the thing to do to have unprotected sex with all of these superbugs, all of these STDs, all of these STIs, AIDS, hepatitis, HIV. You just out here busting it wide open with no protection at all. And then usually they want to come on TV and they want to cry about having sex. I'm talking about the people who are out there being irresponsible with their reproductive health. And they want to have unprotected sex with anybody who they choose that makes them hot in the moment. And then they want to be able to go to a doctor and just snatch the life right out of their body. To be honest, I hope these laws sweep across the nation. It's in hopes that people will take their reproductive health seriously. I know everyone is not going to. People are saying, well, they'll just go to the back alley. Yeah, going to a back alley could cost you your life, and there are people who would think twice about that. But I'm just hoping that this pushes people to take their reproductive health seriously, and this push people to establish strong foundations, families, and marriages. Because it needs to happen. All this reckless, I'm going to do what I want to do. I want to do what I want to do. It's my body, spreading disease, having unwanted children in our community, being placed in poverty. It's out of control and it needs to stop. And I know people are going to be mad and people are going to say there's nuances, people are going to bring up rape and incest. But like I said, the majority of people getting abortions is because this is an unwanted child. This is an unwanted pregnancy. They didn't plan on bringing a life into the world, but they had unprotected sex, and it didn't have to happen. And the number one reason that I have a problem with abortions and Planned Parenthood specifically is because Margaret Sanger. Now, you can take a look, they say proudly that Margaret Sanger is the founder, and they try and paint her as this hero and benevolent woman who was trying to, give reproductive rights to women, and men shouldn't tell women what to do, and women can control their bodies and all of that. But see, I know Margaret Sanger as the racist eugenist that she was and what she was doing. Now, what she wanted is she did not want women having babies who were brown. If they were not Caucasian, she did not want them having babies. This is why she wanted to spread this around the world. She was invited to a Ku Klux Klan rally and she came to speak at the women's branch of the Ku Klux Klan. And she said, "While I personally believe in the sterilization of the feeble-minded and the insane and syphilitic, I have not been able to discover that the measures are more than superficial deterrent when applied to the constantly growing stream of the unfits." Now, this is her racial connection. She is saying that people who are not Caucasian are human waste. And specifically about Black people, she said, "We do not want word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members." This was Margaret Sanger's comment on the Negro Project. Like I said, this was to exterminate Black people. This is why so many Planned Parenthoods are in our neighborhoods. This is why it's really a connection. This is why dysfunction is pushed in our neighborhoods, so we can act out this dysfunction so it can lead to a road of our extinction. They want to get rid of everything that reminds them of Black people. If they could get rid of us all, they would do it, so they wouldn't feel any type of guilt, so they can tell the lies to make themselves feel about this nation and how it was built. You know, Wall Street is built where they had slave auctions, and the Twin Towers that went down revealed a massive slave grave, which was symbolic to me. This nation would not have anything it has without being on the backs of slaves, which was on the graves of slaves. But, you know, she thinks we're insane, feeble-minded, unfit. This was her driving force, was to sterilize people and to stop Black people and other people that are non-Caucasian from having children and procreating. She wanted to kill us all off. And this, Margaret Sanger, which Hillary Clinton helms as her hero, is the reason why I do not like abortions and I cannot stand Planned Parenthood. And one idea of mine, and this is just my personal opinion, allegedly, I would say that this push is an understanding that, there's something happening within the Caucasian community. And I've been privy to it that, they're having issues with having children. I have been a part of a organization that basically provides health coverage. And I receive phone calls, and I'll never forget this frantic phone call of a woman saying that she only wanted to know one thing, is if fertility treatments were covered. She was not going to get into any healthcare program unless fertility treatments were covered. So this is something that's very serious. They know that a lot of Caucasian women, they are having abortions. And also we know that a lot of the teenagers are on drugs. We know about the opioid epidemic and the heroin epidemic. We also know the suicide numbers are extremely high. So they are trying to get a hold on preserving their power and their people, and they can only do that if they have the numbers to do it. And it's, if they're going to get rid of all of the people who came over here illegally and check that white box, they know they're going to see those numbers dwindle. So they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. And there are a few Black people who are saying this in some way will hurt the Black community. I don't see how this can hurt the Black community. All I can say is a lot of Black people need to get on it where they are becoming midwives or doulas, or, helping women give birth. We know about the issues in the hospitals. So that means a lot of us need to step up and, become the help that we need to have safe births and, have a place or a person that we can go to that we trust. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think. I'm going to leave this article about Margaret Sanger in the description box, because like I said, that's the number one reason I have an issue with abortion, and I have an issue with Planned Parenthood, because who they're connected with and her ideals. I'm never going to be cool with an organization or anything that talks about Black people as feeble-minded, as morons, as idiots, as human waste. But go ahead, leave that comment, and I will see you in the next one.